I'm gonna have to leave this one early because I've got a lunch.
Oh. Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey, okay, you can hear now, yeah. All right. I cannot hear anything.
We can hear you now.
You can hear now, okay, yeah, all right, cool. Because usually when we're in here, we turn this down. So on your schedule, it said 11? Oh, okay, all right. Well, I guess it better get started, because on my schedule, it's 11:30. That's all right, okay.
Well, it did just come out. What was that? You just texted it.
That's 11:30, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but I'm not gonna have no wait for half an hour.
There, but that was.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, especially the whole checklist thing. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, maybe a renter.
Oh, have a range of.
Well, it's my son's school buddies, but you know, might as well just start looking there and
Practice.
develop
Yeah, exactly.
that. So I need to ask her or somebody. On the lease stuff, there's one that has like the deposit, which all good, but then there's another that has reserve deposit. So I'm wondering if that would then go flip over to count at some, I mean,
Yeah.
because something like deposits, 3,000, whatever the rent was.
Oh, it's in the Excel.
Like
Oh,
That's
okay.
coming out of pocket.
Here we go, let's see. So it's right here.
Yeah, I would definitely ask the
So I
question.
think it would click, it's gonna flip over.
You're talking about the reserve line underneath there was.
It's two months, little buddies, they're little, but, but they're wanting to rent, but when, and one of the
Click on it.
things, I didn't bring my,
That's,
it says,
so this is the GPS.
rent
Yeah.
deposit, which everybody gets that, which is.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah,
yeah.
which is.
Just-
It's in the
GPS.
Okay.
Okay.
Reserve. Like, I guess you wanna go ahead and, like, get it.
All right, guys, there has been a mix up with the time, so I just wanna give people a chance to jump on at 11:30.
Unless it's like prime rental, that they've got 4 or 5 people on the rent.
Right, or there's like a couple of, I mean, like maybe a condo, like there's certain units. I don't know.
So I'm gonna ask that question. All right, let's see. Are you on?
Right, yeah, but it's supposed to be 11:30. My email said 11 to, Can you grab my phone then and text? India, India,
I was like, I think it's India. She's
India.
always at these things. So
India, and let her know it's 11.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was at the back.
Yeah,
I saw all your things.
Just tell her,
We're sleeping.
we're about to start,
The Zoom.
yeah.
I like being
She's
here.
always in
Yeah,
there.
but if you can't be, it's a nice option.
All right. Okay, all right. I think I'll just sit, but I hate to be looking up. Yeah, this is mine.
I'm Irene, nice to meet you.
Nice
to meet you.
And I was
Just came
Kim
in
Cross.
today.
So thank you for all your emails.
Get your emails,
Yes, wow, here. If I sit there, I'm looking up,
Okay.
but I can't not sit there unless I bring a keyboard. Oh, you know what? So I can stand.
The other thing I find really hard is doing all these
So I can stand.
classes, because I want to be
When
there.
I sit,
And
it's
so also me. And
Yeah, I can do it all either. I mean, you gotta be able to regenerate and.
I keep talking, I mean, yesterday I was telling myself, you know what?
Me too. Me too, but there's always like. start and go
Right.
along with it.
Yeah.
But it's- Way behind in the generation. You know, this other stuff, I'm afraid I gotta stop worrying about that. The
Well,
focus
that's-
is getting, clean.
It's lunch.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
I'm doing the same
But
thing.
I'm having to run out.
Yeah.
I think it just tapped over.
Like,
I did.
for a minute.
Oh, there you go.
So I missed the.
All right, guys, are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
You ready? You ready? Okay, all right. So here we are, and we're gonna talk about your GPS. Does everybody have the form?
Yes.
And I'm gonna share when it's appropriate. Okay.
You need it.
Here you go.
I'm gonna make a coffee, do you need a?
No, I think I have some stuff here.
And I'm, I mean, I have mine.
Right.
I'm good.
Because I want to really help you with this, what it is and how it should be filled out. And the fact that it is a working document. So, okay, so the first one is G, right? If you've been with us for any length of time, we used to call it the 135. And then we figured, you know what? Everybody uses a GPS. So it is a GPS, right? It is a global plan to get you where you want to go, except for us, we make it easy, right? So G is your goal. And so everybody should have a goal for the year, whether it is a money goal or a unit goal, or so that will be your business goal. So one of the things I encourage people, and we encourage you guys to do, is have a personal goal also, because your personal goals, they're gonna fuel your business goals. On the days when you don't feel like it, if you know one of your personal goals for the year is to save $100,000 or $50,000, do you think you're more apt to get up and go knock that door, or go have coffee, or go make, or pick up the phone and make that one phone call, the last phone call to get that appointment, right? So have some big old personal goals, and I'll show you how mine is set up. I usually have one that I can use as an example. And I'll be very open and transparent on mine and tell you what's working for me and what's not working and what I have changed come second half of the year, okay? All right, so let's start with the objective for today. The objective for me is for you guys to understand why it is important to use this as a business document, as a living document that drives your business, right? So where do you get your goals from? You get your goals from us sitting down, putting that business plan together. And so for the personal, you can choose the money part or you can choose the units, right? This year I have switched to the units because my coach asked me a challenging question. And of course, she's right. When you focus on the unit goal as opposed to the money, you're pretty much, if you stay with your price point, which is like the one thing we can't control, you're gonna get to the money. And helping more people means you're building a bigger pipeline. You're having a bigger referral base. So that's one of the strategies that we use this year, where I'm not so much focused on how much money I'm gonna make. I'm focused on how many families can I help this year based on the time that I have. All right, so any questions around that? So the GPS is for the agent. The goal is for you to leave with a clear understanding, because these are models and systems that we use to run our business. So the GPS is like the broad thing that you set up for the year, right? Here's a plan for the year. Here's my goal, right? Then the P is my priorities. And Gary says, all right, you're brand new. We know you're gonna try a bunch of stuff till you figure it out. right? And we'll talk about figuring it out. So the priority, do 3, pick 3 and stick with it. So the first one is always going to be your sphere of influence. And I take always back because some people are so scared of talking to their sphere of influence. So the first priority for me would be my sphere of influence and past clients. So people I know who knows me and love and trust me, right? The second priority could be, you know what? I just love being in front of people. So I'm gonna do open houses. That could be a second priority. The third priority could be, you know, why don't I have some events? Or I'm just gonna work with for sale by owners or expireds. Okay, so those could be your 3. Now the strategies are like, the strategies say, okay, here's sphere of influence. What are the 5 things I'm gonna do under that priority? All right, so that's how come you have your 1, 3, and 5. 1 big goal for the year, personal and professional. You can work either side. 3 priorities, because I don't want to be running, oh, I can't be that agent where this week I try something, next week I try something, the other week I'm gonna try something, right? And I have 10 different things that I'm trying, right? So pick 3. And then on each priority, okay, how do I get to this? How do I get to having the most awesome open houses that will roll up to help me get to my 1 big goal? All right. The second document we're gonna look at the 411. And so the 411 brings your GPS into your month and into your week. All right. So for 4 weeks to execute your plan, what am I gonna hit this month? And then of course, your 1 is your goal, which is gonna be at the top of your 411. Make sense? All right, okay. So we're gonna do a little bit of time travel, right? We're gonna look at your 1 thing for today, then your someday goals, and then we're gonna goal set to the now. So we're gonna goal set to the now, which is this year, right? It's a different class to do goal setting to the future. That's a whole different class. That's a whole hour or 2-hour class. So today we're just gonna get a vision of what we wanna do for just this 1 year. And I usually go 1 year because people come in at different points during the year, all right? So your 411 is a priority list. Let's just say that it's gonna be a priority, it's not a to-do. And we're gonna focus heavily on your 20% where we start breaking down the 411. So, all right, any questions so far?
I'm sure you'll get to them.
All right, okay, great. So I'm gonna pull this up. And I'm gonna share this online if I can, let's see. All right, so I think this is open. Share screen. And I wanna share. Hang on, let me turn this light on because I want to share the mock for GPS first. And then we'll take a look at that 411 and you can see how they talk to each other and how the 411 brings my GPS into real life. Okay, so. And I have all kind of little tabs set up. Looking for this GPS, if you guys.
It's on the far right there. Yep, right. The last one.
Oh,
There,
this one.
There you go.
Alright. You're good.
You are good.
Alright, not this one. I need the other one. Alright, let me get Hawkeyes in here.
Close the blinds.
Hmm?
Can I close the blinds?
Yes, please. Not the one you just showed me. Alright, this is not, this is not. That's just for the PC program. Let me find the other one. Alright, until we find the other one that's filled in, let's go ahead and pretend that we know what our goals are for the year, right? So let's say we wanna do, somebody shout it out, either online or in here. What is your big goal for this year?
14 transactions.
Alright, you wanna do 14 transactions, okay? Hey, you're here, you're not online. So, alright, 14 transactions, so what do you choose to do? Alright, so you are gonna do 14 transactions, that's the big goal, so that's your outcome goal. By when?
Maybe my cycle, my first year.
Okay, so if you look on your sheet, a good GPS is a good GPS with just your goal. A great GPS says by who and by when, right? Because it's always a person or a system. So by when would you like to do 14 transactions?
June 8th of 22.
All right, good. All right, and so who will do that? Are you gonna hire some help?
Not yet.
Are you gonna get some leverage? And we're gonna talk about that. Your very first transaction, in my humble opinion, you should give it to a transaction coordinator. Do you know why?
Because then you don't have to
Well,
get into it.
you're learning the whole time.
So
Well-
you're not in the weeds with it.
Right, I said. First hand.
Okay, can you go ahead and do that? We're gonna, guys, are you hearing me online? So
Yeah.
you're not in the weeds. Somebody else is taking care of that very first transaction. And like Gary said, so you can go do what you do best, which is go get another transaction. Okay,
So transaction coordinator would take over after you've submitted an offer and it was accepted.
when you have a binding offer, the transaction coordinator takes over. After you've negotiated and bound it, and now it's a living document, they'll take over. All right, so we're gonna share this one. And the reason you wanna do that, darling, is so that you're gonna move on to the next one. All right, so here is, let's pretend this is Rusty's. The goal for the year is to sell 14 houses in 2021, right? Except Rusty's would be from now until June 2022. Okay, so this has to be very clear. My very first big rock priority is my sphere of influence and past clients. So can you guys see this online? What are my strategies? My strategies are that I'm gonna categorize them, and I'm gonna clean them up, and I'm gonna put them in command. One place where I can see everything, right? When I put them in opportunities, it makes me see what I can potentially earn for the year, because I'm gonna put each person in there with a dollar figure next to it. And so when I look at my opportunities, when I look at command and now switch them to opportunities, it will give me a predictable income. Right? So I'm gonna put them in command. So here's what I do by December, that week of December, when it's quiet and it's after Christmas. Hey, Jennifer, pop in here, girl. Here's what I do that week when family's over.
She said stop in there.
Yeah, I'm doing GPS with them.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
That last week of December, I go into command and I clean it out. I also clean out my phone. I go in there and I go, who is this person? Ring, ring, ring. This person is no longer at this phone number. I clean it out. If I look down and I did not have an email address where I can say, hey, is this still your number? If that email address bounces back to me too, I might just clean it out because I've never talked to them. I might have been in the bathroom and a conversation came up and I put it in there. So that's what I do, right? What I also do with this is I go in and I do A+ clients, clients, B clients, C clients. So this is one of my strategies. And if you guys want to make a little note off to the side why I categorize A+, B+, C, I'll tell you why. I'm gonna make sure my 38 touch is set up and running. It says on E-Edge, it's not on E-Edge, it's gonna be on command. I'm gonna go into smart plans. Well, by who would be Authurine and Iman is gonna set up smart plans and they're gonna run for the year. 38 touches that way. I'm also gonna implement every year my D2 system. What is it? What is my D2? Every week, I'm gonna take 2 letters of the alphabet and I'm gonna call through them. And the idea for that is that 4 times a year, if I use this D2 system, 4 times a year, I'm gonna be talking to everybody in my database. And you know why this is so good? Because there are certain people, we love them and we talk to them all the time, all the time, all the time. And then we ignore the other people until we have to, we're in bold, right? And we have to make our numbers, 20 contacts a day. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't talked to this person in a year, let me call them. And you go, oh, how you doing? Blah, 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 catch up, you know? How's the family? Do you have any real estate needs? And they're like, oh my God, Authurine, I'm so sorry, and your heart dropped. Because you know what's coming, right? I forgot that you were in the real estate business and I bought a house with the lady from church. And you're like, I just paid $30,000 for that lesson. Because they're gonna tell you, we bought $1 million house, or whatever, right? We bought a $500,000 house. So we set up the D2 system. Put a little asterisk next to that, and I'll teach that class. We do the PC resources. And so one of the other things I'm gonna do that we've been doing this year that is fabulous. Last December, sending these neighborhood videos got me 2 transactions for sure, This was to my past client. I knew she was gonna sell her house in 6 years. When she retired, she got the video and called me and said, you mean you can sell my house for this much? I'm like, yes, ma'am. She said, you know what? Can you come over this week?
What video did she send?
the neighborhood videos that are on command, right? She said, come over this week and look at my house. Went over, she said, huh, okay, I think we need to sell this house. I'm like, what about 6 years from now? She's like, no, let's sell it now so I can take the equity out. Whole bunch of equity. So we did that and bought her a brand new house with a master on Main, which she always wanted because of those videos. So we're doing those videos consistently. That drop off Popeyes, so I have a whole schedule on my Popeye. It's called my Popeye calendar. I know the days, the months, I do it 8 times a year. I know what I'm dropping off. I know the quantities that I need, and I know where to buy them. It's a whole schedule that once I got an executive assistant who loves that kind of stuff, she put that system in place for me. Where previous to having her every year, I was like, oh my God. Oh, it's the 1st. And I'm supposed to be popping back with something on the 8th. Oh, Jesus. What did I do last year again? Oh, God. No, it's too late to order it off of Amazon. I got to run around and find it. So this helps me. All right. What is this one? Virtual and our in-person coffees once per month. Okay, so full transparency. After when COVID happened, this shut down. Cause I tried doing the thingy coffee on virtual. I did not like those at all. So before COVID though, every other Thursday, me and my little group of peeps would go have coffee. And we would just go to sometimes, Starbucks, somewhere else. This here, 1 year, I know for sure I made about $40,000 because of all the referrals that came out of my coffee group. Now, quarterly events. Thank God Silverton's coming back with their movies. So this is priority number 2. All right. So you see this, the virtual vision board. I did it this year in January virtually. It was okay. It wasn't my 52 people or 60 people that usually shows up here upstairs in the training room. And we have a whale of a time. It's an event that people ask me about towards by the time I roll around November, I'll get a, hey, when is our vision board party? So I know they enjoy it, right? Shred and purge in the parking lot, done. Father's Day, this is a new thing we did this year. Father's Day, we did a car wash at Cactus right here, done. And then fall pictures in the park or at a farm, I'm working on that now. This is gonna be new for me. Cause usually we do Sweets with Santa here. And Dennis is our Santa. Well, Dennis got COVID, so I don't know if he's gonna do, cause kids jump up on his lap.
Right.
So I don't know if he's gonna do that, so I have a backup plan. Now, here's the question for you guys, before we switch to, tell me what time, 11:42. So this I have set for the year, right? Now, you see priority number 3? That I'm not executing at a high level. So here's the question Jerry usually asks. He said, can I make it bigger?
Yes.
So here's a question for you guys online and in this room. Could any one priority executed at a really high level get you to your goal of selling 14 houses rustic? Or
Any single one?
can any one priority executed at a very high level get you to your big goal?
It could, but it's not likely.
All right, so tell me more about that.
Well, I think anytime you use a synergetic approach of 2 or 3 options, you're gonna be much more beneficial than putting 100% of your effort into one strategy.
That's good. can I offer up another viewpoint?
I feel like that's giving you tunnel vision, basically.
Ah,
Well, you
Because-
also just, that would be a time, I guess, where you could be accused of, once you're done with the client, you moved on, that the value was just in the money in your transaction, not in nurturing the relationship.
well, what if you did, past clients and referrals?
I tend to disagree. I think that if you focus, like, for instance, on that first one,
Mm-hmm.
and if that's where you're gonna put 100% of, because you were thinking about the 20%, right? If you put 100% of your focus on that, you will be successful if you push on all those points and keep to that schedule. It can happen,
Yes,
but that means 100% focus on that to get that 20%, which is what you're achieving to get to the 14.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at
When I looked at, so looking at this to me, which is obvious, is for somebody that's established.
mm-hmm,
You know, from my first year plan, it was really, all of them are connected. It's lead generation, expense control, and personal brand.
yes,
Which,
yeah,
which if I try to do all that,
mm-hmm,
that's beyond me right now.
okay, yeah,
it. Right.
right, and it makes sense, and yet, right? There are people, there are big agents, MREA agents. Without years of experience, who they're doing they get 90% of their business comes from past clients and their sphere of influence. And they're doing it at huge level. And yet there are agents who all they do are events, just events. It's the activities they do around the events that keep them in front of their folks, right? They're agents that have made brand new agent, 2019, moved to another city. It's like, what do? I don't know anybody. What could I possibly do? Coach is like, what could you do? She said, well, I could call for sale by owners. 60-something transaction closed. Brand new out of the gate. All she did was focus on for sale by owners. Do you think when you do a great job that for sale by owner is gonna pass her name on to some other people? So they might not have all been for sale by owners, and yet the referrals from these people have now become her past clients. So Gary, whenever Gary will ask, could any one of these roll up to helping you? Could any one of these help you achieve your one big goal? And it is yes. And I understand where you guys are right now, right? You've got to figure out what your one thing is. I finally figured out after a year of calling expireds with very nominal results, I'm like, peace out. I'm a people person. I'm gonna spend money over here. Everything that I do is gonna be even if you look at my priority number 2, which is quarterly client events, what does it say? Quarterly client events. They're all geared around the people that know me already and I know. All right, so your goal is to, as you're new, work through this and just watch your money and see where your return is, right? One year I sat down and I looked at where all my business came from. I'm like, oh my gosh. One of them was somebody I just called blindly, but everything else was a past client or a referral. And that's when I switched. I'm like, that's where I'm spending my money. All right, any questions on your GPS?
Can you scroll to that last one?
Okay, so the last one is, I had in my mind that I was gonna do some agent to agent referrals. I am not executing as highly as I should, and my coach and I are having discussions about it. I need to go back to that. Okay. I think I closed 3 agent referrals this year. Not even executing.
I saw that Patty had a hand up.
Patty had a hand up. Patty Jackson. Patty Jackson.
Hey, you know what? It was something that I was going to say that you pretty much covered, so that's why I put my hand down.
Oh, okay, all Patty Jackson.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share the screen again because I want to show them how, if I can see, all right, here, let's go here. I want to show you how the 411 all ties in to that GPS. So this 411, it just takes everything that I have over there and I put it over here. And this is a weekly document that Imani prints up for me and puts on my desk. So I think this is July's. So over here, I broke it down into annual goals, right? And because I'm the PC, where am I? So annual goals, here is a PC program, what my goals are, and then here is personal and real estate. So I put those two together, and now I have a chance to really bring my values and my beliefs into alignment over here on my 411, because it's God, family, and business, right? So here we go. God, all my life I've wanted to read through the Bible for like in a year. So I have an app on my phone. It says Bible in 1 year, and doggone it, they have the big old red book that says Bible in 1 year. So I'm going through that. I will be very honest and say I'm about 60 days behind.
Me and you both.
Okay, see, you see how the truth
Guilty.
sets you free, guilty. So, all right, so, okay. All right, so that's God, family. Okay, so now we're almost empty nesters, and I gotta pay the man some attention, okay? Because I wanna keep the man
Yeah.
around. He's a good
He's a
one.
keeper.
So I have up here for the whole year, I'm gonna do 40 date nights with Mr. Elliott, right? And we're gonna do 4 family vacations with them people, if we can get them together. Because now they're adults and they have their own schedules and their own lives, right? All right, so that's a year. What is this? I'm gonna read it. Exercise 106 times and make sure my doctor's visits and everything, right? Because you gotta take care of yourself. And see down, you gotta put your priorities into it. And then down here, here's the professional. I'm gonna sell 40, 20, 38 homes. I'm gonna serve on ALC, and my goal is to buy a second investment property by December 2021. That is if, I'm gonna put a next asterisk next to that, if the prices come back to where they are holding them. If not, I'm just gonna save that money somewhere, right? Because we've all had to pivot. So I'm pivoting through this here, okay? All right, so that's for the year. That is not gonna change when I do my 411 and send it to my coach every Friday evening. Right? That's not gonna change. This is for 2021. Here's what changes. So remember, I'm bringing stuff down. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read how many times, when, by when. It's very specific. I'm gonna get up at between 6 and 7, which I do, and I'm gonna read, right? I'm gonna exercise 12 times this month. Well, I've been lacking because I'm working late here, and my daughter said, that's not an excuse. Are you committed or not? I'm like, oh. All right, okay. Detroit vacation check box. We went and saw his peeps, and 2 of the children came with us. 1 couldn't. Call 10 spare past clients and invite them to career night. Guys, you have some awesome people that you know who will be great at this business. Have a conversation. You know, Kaliatu, I've been thinking about this for a while. Rusty, I think you would do wonderful in a career as a real estate agent. What do you think? And they'll tell you, they'll laugh or they'll go, let's go. I've been thinking about it for a while. I know I can do it.
I have a question there.
Yes.
So let's say someone who's no longer active, well, I don't know if she's active now, but no longer working. As long as you keep your license active, you still get paid from those people, from those that you brought in.
You gotta put it in a holding company. right? The holding company is like maybe $100 a year,
Okay, okay,
so you can flip,
okay.
right? Get strategies. All right, any questions?
So, my question has always been when I was on my 411, I understand the yearly or the annual goals don't change, right? Monthly could change, but my question was, or the thought I had to myself was, what if I've not yet hit that goal? Wouldn't it stay the same then too? Like, wouldn't I keep it the same if I didn't hit my monthly goal?
No, and I'm gonna talk about that. Thank
Okay.
you for bringing that up, all right? So remember on my, on my GPS, it talks about, events. So here's one for July. 4th of July, neighborhood flags, right? So that's an event. Now, weekly. Weekly is where I really lay it out every week, and thank God I have somebody who's holding me accountable to it. So, all right, so this was let's say this is the first week. And I want to connect with 25 out-of-state agents, and I should have put by when. Well, let's say India, for some reason, I did not do that. Let's pretend that this is last week. And I just got crazy busy and I did not connect with 25 out-of-state agents. It doesn't die, it comes forward to this week.
Oh.
Plus, if my goal was to connect, where is my goal? If my goal was to connect with 50 of them, and I wanted to do it in a 2-week time span, and I didn't do it the week I said I was, it's your life, you get a choice. You can do all 50 the next week, or you can break it up. Same thing with, okay, I need to go on 4 listing appointments every month, so that's 1 a week. If I didn't do 1 last week, then over here would be 2.
Got you.
It's
Okay,
2
that
this
makes
week. It's 2 this week, right?
That makes sense. Okay.
So this one was on my to-do last week, didn't happen. So call everyone in my pipeline and find out what their real estate needs are and put a date by their name. 2023, 2024. Tuesdays through Fridays, here's where I'm script practicing. And then this week is A and W, my DT, D2, A and W, and I'll give you guys the schedule. Follow-up is every Friday. All right, this week, I'm gonna follow up for the movie event. So you see how this ties into the GPS. This one is a living, breathing document that you use every week. So you can hit your big G on that GPS. Any questions?
I'm sorry, what was the D2 again?
Doing the database 2. So you take 2
2
letters of the alphabet.
Right.
And they have it split up like the A's, you're gonna have a lot of A's,
Right.
and the W's are shorter. So you have
Okay.
A and W.
Got it.
And a rookie question, I see you say call everyone in your pipeline.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between pipeline and database?
What a lovely question. I love a smart man. A database is just everybody. Everybody's in my database that I know. The people who are in my pipeline, we've had previous conversations and they've expressed an interest in purchasing real estate or investing.
So they're like the opportunity.
So now I move them into my opportunities, or I still have a little pipeline. All right, I move them into my pipeline, and the conversation is like, hey, Irene, we at some point, let's say I don't know them that well, at some point earlier this year, you were on my website, you responded to a Facebook ad. When we talked, you said you loved the house, it was too big for you, and you wanted me to circle back with you in December. It is now July, and I wanted to see if anything had changed. All right, and if it's still December, I'm gonna keep December there. Things might have changed.
So these are people you make sure you're staying top of mind.
Oh, God, yes, I'm gonna call through that pipeline very regular.
Okay.
right? Because they put up their hand that they want to do something. It might have been somebody who called you, like one of your friends call you and say, you know what, I need a contractor because we're thinking about selling. We're not selling now though, Authurine in a year, but I want to enjoy a beautiful kitchen for a year. And you know you refer that contractor, so she goes, you keep her in your database still, but you move her into that pipeline, right? And you might have them labeled, some people are very detailed, they go hot or warm, and they blah, 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 and their thing is broken out. Me, I'm just like, okay, they're in here, right? So any questions on that?
No questions, it makes more sense, clearly mine is, I need to, like, I guess, be more detailed.
And so Irene was right when she said, what goes on this 411 is your 20% activities. On some of the 411s on the bottom, it has like, or GPL, it has like 80% things. I don't even bother, there are too many of them. I just need to focus on my 20% and so I can keep my head down and focus on what really, really matters. That's why they're up there. Those are the big old rocks, right? Health-wise, the big rocks to me, since I know who I am, would be to go get my doctor's appointment scheduled because I know that's a thing. Because I grew up with a woman who would take us to the doctor, but she wouldn't go until she was dying. So I know I've inherited that. So that's a big rock up there where it's in my face, right? Another big rock is like, okay, that 38, selling 36 to 38 houses is gonna get me to that piece of investment property. So I better have my events, I better make my calls, I better do all of this. That's my 20%. The 80% stuff, like, you know, the videos going out, that's a big deal. And Imani does those. So we're clear on who's doing what. Questions? I don't know what time it is. 12:01, yay! We're right on time. Guys online, please unmute yourselves and give me some feedback or ask some questions.
I feel like my question would be like, we'll have a conversation, because I like for you to kind of scrutinize mine specifically.
Yeah, write your questions down, because you always have questions leading off the day.
Okay.
Right. Did that help some?
A lot.
A lot? Okay, yes.
I'm like, here, I gotta go back down to my database.
Yeah, I just feel like I wrote mine out, but I need to be, it's just very high level. I need to be more specific, I guess.
Yes,
I don't really
yeah.
know what word, I know what I need to do, I just don't know how to, like, verbalize
Okay.
it right now.
Unfortunately, my pipeline's a little thin right now, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Okay, and so my coach helped me. Like, who does she think she is? Rejecting my stuff. Like, seriously, I've been in the business forever and you're gonna reject my GPS because it's too general?
That's what
Right.
mine is.
And it helped, right? It helped to just be laser focused, like, okay, you're gonna call through your database. Okay, what's the purpose? Oh,
Green,
yes.
do you send your coach your 411 prior to your call every week?
Every single week, and guess what? She has Imani in her corner, and they have a time, 4 p.m. every Friday, where no matter what I'm doing, Imani says, it's time to do your 411. So I have to leave and go sit down and do my 411. Every Friday, Imani sends her the 411 and some other forms before she leaves. Yeah.
Good.
Yep, without fail. Without fail. The only time I get a break is if I'm on vacation. And so, you know, how Keller Williams, the coaches, everybody we have the same beliefs. And so she's like, you're on vacation with your family, you better not be sending me anything over. You better not be working, so I don't send her 411 when I'm on vacation. But other than that, every Friday at 4 o'clock, you guys, I'm sitting down with Imani and we're strategizing it. And I
That's
take
the best trick. That's the best trick. That's the best trick to figure out how to go on vacation and not work.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And then on top of that, like I'd say, if you go inside on my desk, my 411 is right there in my face. And for so many years, I would just do it. I would just actually just go through the motions and then I wouldn't look at it. Now it's in my face. I see it every day. Because two somebodies is holding me accountable to it. Yeah. And I'm a grown woman, just in case she's listening. And I appreciate it. Any feedback, you guys? Unmute, give us some feedback.
I think that was helpful too, also because it drills down and makes you get specific as opposed to just general goals. And that's how you get there, right? Is by specifically naming what you're gonna do and do it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's called muscle memory. The more I had a boss one time, he said, you can be a wandering generality or a meaningful specific. And that keeps you very specific, because
Yes.
I'm still not really good at it. I'll go back the next week and go, gosh, I didn't do this, I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
Yeah. Did you guys hear what Rusty said, his old boss said to him?
Yeah, I think that's says what I said, but only better.
Right. So
Better to be specific, yeah.
Yeah, so the path to getting more is not by doing more, it's about doing what matters most. Right? So what is the one thing that you can do such that everything else will fall into place? That is the focusing question for the one thing. And the second part of that question is the most important one. And so I'm gonna leave you guys with the second part of that. What action will you take today that will move you closer to your goals?
Mine's just gonna be to revisit and make it more specific. Measurable.
All right, thank you guys so very much for showing up. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, go have some great lunch. Lunch is right here. Chick-fil-A biscuits. All right, guys, see you later.
Thank you. Thank you.